Welcome to Heart Talks. I'm Sheila Jean Burgher. Namaste. Today, my guest is Angel Anam Carina. And I got to tell you, before we do these interviews, I get to spend hours, sometimes days, with my guest. And of course, that's like, that's the gift of being who I am. And then we bring it back and try to condense it down to a half-hour show. And I just wanted to tell you, with Angel, it was really cool because we were sitting and just casually talking about our journeys. And she started telling hers kind of in a linear way. And I'm like, wait a minute, what year was that you did that? And she mentioned the year. And I'm like, oh my God, I was doing something very similar. So she finishes her story. And throughout the whole story, what I noticed was, even though our journeys are unique to ourselves, we were actually going through the same awakening process at that time. And I've got other guests that I've had here who we were able to compare those journeys, the processes that we went through. And what this really, really had showed me, what was so clear to me the other day when we were talking, was that we are a wave of energy in this new earth process. We are a wave or a cosmic team. And as I have said before, we are gathering. And so, of course, when we met, it was like we'd known each other forever. We're sisters. We feel one with the whole cosmic plan that we're on right now. And so I just want to welcome you and thank you. And I think it will be really enjoyable for others to hear that process that we have been through. And so that people will be able to see that they too are probably very much a part of this same wave. And I'm not going to say first wave or second wave or 144,000. I'm not going to say that. You all can add that wherever you want. But there is this similarity, this remembering, reconnecting as a cosmic team. In this new earth, we consider ourselves cosmic team. And so, Angel, if you would just like to share your story again, and let's let the others hear of this wave that we've been experiencing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I just want to say thank you because I just feel so much gratitude in my heart right now just to be here and to be sisters with you and to be present right now. It just feels amazing to me. So thank you.
Quite welcome.
I was telling you on that day that I actually came this way. A lot of people have had like a life event or some kind of like a near-death experience sometimes, but that's not my story. My story is that I came like this, and
born this way.
Pardon?
You were born.
I was born this way. I was always different. I knew I was different. I was very aware. I was very conscious. So this caused like a lot of emotional turmoil for me.
Absolutely.
I had a very long journey of a lot of emotional tribulations, for sure.
Yes, as we all did, and we have actually come to accept.
Yes, I'm at a place now where I can accept all of those things, but first I need to go through a truther phase. Well, when I was 20, I started out by just studying everything that I could get my hands on. I studied Buddhism and Zen and psychic phenomenon and crop circles and UFOs and just everything. You know, I studied Edgar Casey and Christianity and transcendental meditation. And then finally, and so that was a very big period of searching. Finally, when I was 33, I learned to love myself. And I crossed paths with a spiritual work called The Path, a journey into the light. And though nobody has ever spoken this to me on the earth plane, I know that this wisdom was brought to us by the Pleiadians. It was the Pleiadians that were guiding me at that time and teaching me about creating my reality.
And now, did you know they were Pleiadians because they said so, or because you recognized, or?
Only later in the timeline did I recognize that it was Pleiadian wisdom. Mm-hmm. But I had to search out Pleiadian wisdom, and then I had to go research it myself.
Right.
Then realize that in the past I had come across that wisdom in the form of a channeled message that we didn't know who channeled it. We just knew it was entities. It was a woman named Alana Plains in Tucson, Arizona. Uh-huh. And she led a group of about 10 women to become spiritual guides on how to learn to cross the bridge from fear to love and to live in self-love. Mm-hmm. So I was one of what we call allies in that work. And I had a spiritual guide. So from 1996 until about 2000, I was doing The Path as a form, meaning I had gone and done this whole thing where I was meeting with my spiritual guide on a weekly basis and then later on a monthly basis. But then in the year 2000, Alana got a message that it was time for the Path's form to dissolve, that we were moving into a new time, that the form was no longer needed, and that what was going to happen was that we were simply going to go out into the world and be love. And the year 2000, my mind was blown. I was like, oh, okay, I thought that was a gift when you taught me to love myself, and now you're telling me to just go out and be love. Okay.
Right. So, and didn't we think it really actually should have been a little more complicated than that?
Yeah.
You know, I should have gone to school or educated or whatever. And they're like, no, you're just perfect. You're just like love. Just go out there and be you.
Right? After all those buckets of tears and all that healing. But so at that time, I had no idea really how I would impact the world, meaning I don't mean to say that I was looking into the future to see how I was going to impact the world, but just that I thought I was so little. Like, right. Okay, well, I'll go out and be love, but, you know, I'll affect my children, and, you know, maybe my mom I'll rub off on my mom, you know. So I saw myself as being very small at that time. But then in the year 2007, I started to have voices started speaking to me. Mm-hmm. And the voices were always the same. They said, "The planet is in crisis. You are needed at this time." And I didn't know what to do with that. I didn't know how the planet was in crisis, and I didn't know how I was going to help. I mean, I thought I was small. I didn't know how I was going to help. But I just was very magnetized and very drawn to help. I couldn't stop myself. So I decided that I would read everything that I could about what was going on the planet, that I would look beyond what we were being told on mainstream news and on TV to find out what was really going on. And I did that for 5 years. It was a really intensive study.
Isn't it amazing? Okay, even though I did not call myself a cosmic team member at that time, but isn't it the most amazing pull that we get to reach out? That is a sure sign that you are on the path of awakening, because it becomes so important that we reach out and help. And
Yeah,
it's ironic.
urgent.
It is urgent, and it's ironic because we don't think we know, and we're still trying to find what it is we're supposed to be, and all along, really, all we had to do is walk down the street and be the light we are, and it changed things.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, and if you don't, well, I have found that if you don't listen, then it becomes more and more urgent until it's just like, you're tripping over things because it's so urgent, it's trying to get your attention. But so I did that really intensely for 5 years in what I would call my truther phase. And I was on Facebook telling people about all the atrocious things that were going on the planet. And it was really needed. It was really needed because we were, in my heart, we were on a different trajectory at that time. It wasn't necessarily one where we were ascending. It was kind of doom and gloom. And
Right.
But then something changed around 2011. I felt a big rain of light come down on the planet, and things started changing. Then in 2012, then it was clear that our trajectory had changed and Gaia had been rebirthed. And I felt that I experienced her rebirthing. And even though you look out the window, you still see pollution and all that. On another level, on another layer, I felt her rebirthing, and I felt it inside of myself. Then in 2013, that was the really interesting year, because then all the metaphysical experiences started, and I started what you could say called remembering my past lives and who I am. And so
okay, and whenever tell peeps what that does to you, to start remembering those past lives. Tell me what it serves.
What it serves? Well, it's an opening. It's an opening of your heart. It's you realizing that life is much more vast than you had ever imagined. Way beyond anything mental comprehension wise. It's just a huge opening of the heart. But while the heart is opening, for me personally, I was fighting with the mind. And so it was, my mind was tripping out, but my heart was opening. And what's happened to me in these last few years is that I've learned to quiet the mind so that my heart can just be open. But if you go there, it's pretty intense.
One of the things that it served me was that, in understanding that I have had many lives and many experiences, and now because I am remembering, I could pull that experience from within me to assist me in anything I want to do now.
Yes, absolutely.
And I love that part.
I love that part too. It's an integrating that's taking place.
Yeah.
It's like before I didn't know how to hold any of those experiences. I didn't know what they were good for, So, I've seen orbs. What does that mean? I was a little bit lost. But yeah, as I've grown spiritually and as I've expanded, I've been able to integrate, like you say, and be able to use all of the information that you get.
And some people, those past lives come just naturally. They did for me. There was a time when it was time for me to learn all that, to remember all that. Others go and have past life therapy of some kind to help bring it out. So I think if someone gets the urge to open up to that, there's certainly a few ways that can happen.
There is, and of course the most important thing always is to be going inside and to be, working from in here, just all of the ways that you can raise your own spirit and your own frequency. That's where the psychic phenomenon comes out of. It comes out of your actual internal work. It's not from seeking it outside of yourself.
That's right. Wow.
So in 2014, then something very special happened to me. And that is that I began to hear a call from Spirit to walk in mastery. Spirit asked me if I would be willing to graduate from being an awakening spirit to being an ascended master. And I told you this on the other day too. I just got up and said, yes, I will.
Yeah.
And that's been my story. That's been the story of my spirit. I've just been so dedicated. And so that was the beginning of 2014. And Spirit asked me to create original material for the ascension in any form that I possibly could. And so then I decided that I would turn everything into the ascension. I just started dancing for the ascension. I started parenting for the ascension. And I'm blogging on Facebook for the ascension.
That's right. Well, and like you said, in 2014, there was a change, and I was encouraged to start being the goddess self that I am, and I also a few years back went on this unfold plan where I pretty basically gave up my wishes and dreams and allowed my cosmic team to direct me to what I should do next, and this show happened, and I am fully aware that this is my opportunity to lay a platform down so that all of us who are celebrating and creating the new earth can have a voice and be seen and heard. And that is something that we have very much in common. And I'm very glad that we got to, share this moment with everyone, because we are encouraging everyone to acknowledge themselves. And Heart Talks is, and Angel, you are as well a safe place for people to tell their stories, to share their experiences, and join us in this new earth celebration and creation.
It's absolutely right. I invite people to make comments on my statuses that I write, and to email me and to communicate with me. I'm absolutely here in joy for the ascension.
That's right. I think one of the things that we also become aware of in this stage is that there is a language that automatically becomes us, I believe. There's a vibration in the words that we use because it's coming from within, from a vibration of pure love. And this is another way that I've been able to find my peeps on Facebook, is because I can feel the melody in the words that they use and the language they use. And I think once we start communicating with the Ascended Masters, we become accustomed to a certain language and a certain tone. And I think the more accustomed we get to that, the more we use it ourselves. It is a new way of communication, and it's almost like like our light or our signature is with the tone and the words that are used. And I noticed that with you right off.
It's true. It's true. There's a thing like angel love, right?
Yeah.
You have your regular encounters, and then you have your angel encounters. And it would be lovely for all starseeds to know that. It would be lovely for them to know that there are, thousands and actually millions of people here that are ready to meet others in a place of unconditional love, in a place of respect and gentleness and kindness of the deepest, most amazing kind. I love to share my stories with my family of how I meet some people on one layer and we're like, well, you want to have ice cream next Monday? Oh, yeah, that would be lovely. And then I meet friends in another layer where it's the very first time I've met them and it's, you know what, I love you dearly. I love you completely. I love you with all my heart. And it's real.
It is.
We're here. We're here. We're real.
Right. Well, I'm also very proud to say that, I have a very good network of sisters who, including you, that we stay connected and support one another in this mission of cosmic epicness. And we are also feeling the changes that are happening right now, physically. And I've been posting regularly whenever my network of goddesses connect with me and say what they're feeling, and we're all agreeing and feeling the same. I usually post, because not for fear factor, but the exact opposite, to let you know, hey, it's just a wave of energy coming through. Just breathe it, let it pass through, and be it.
It's true. There's a way that we walk together. I learned that when I started becoming a warrior of love and I did the work on the path, that our spiritual guides, whatever they were going through, is what we were going through. And however they opened up their hearts is how we opened up their hearts, because they were guiding us. And even back then, which has been over 15 years now, the path of love was then becoming a kinder and gentler energy. And I remember Milana telling us about that love is calling us to be gentle. Love is calling us to be even more gentle. And now I'm finding out what that means, what it means to be that gentle, because there's a way that people still want to feel righteous about certain things that they do, or they want to separate it in their minds as being okay because that person is evil or that person is wrong. So this is what Starseeds are walking through right now, is letting go of this idea of duality, where there's good and bad and right and wrong, and coming back to the oneness and to the unity. And so that we can meet other human beings and not have judgment, and meet them in the pure love that we have in our hearts. It's really happening.
It really is happening. And even though there was that phase where we had to dig in and find out the dark side, because we needed to be educated on this, to be aware that, there is this dark side. Okay, but once we kind of got the idea of what's going on, it's vital that we leave that behind and create the new.
This is perhaps one of the biggest journeys for starseeds and humans right now, is the separation between good and evil. It's true, we needed to find out just how dark it was, to become aware of our own light.
Yes.
Which, walking a path of light is a choice.
It is.
And so you get to know how much of a responsibility that is when you find out how atrocious the darkness really can be.
Yeah.
So the big journey for Starseeds is to realize that all of it is a mirror of the one, that there's not really any separation. Only on, other layers, on this 3D plane where we have separation, does that separation exist. But on another layer, it's all coming from the one source. And we need to know that. We need to go into our hearts and meditate on this and experience this so that we can stop judging the things that we see out there. And when you get past that judgment, you're no longer suffer about the things that you see.
Absolute freedom.
You still have the emotions because we're human. And so when I see people go hungry, I still ache in my gut about it. It's real. It's happening in here. But I have no illusions. I have no illusions that it's anything but a mirror of what God is experiencing right now. And all through choices and all divinely managed.
Yes. Yes, to be skillful in using contrast for good, I believe, is vital. When you see contrast that is not good, there is the moment right there and then that you can turn aside and choose what would be better. There comes a time when, as we create our lives, there is a moment when you get to choose. And in each and every moment, that is whatever you're given is what you can concentrate and choose on. And that will create, your own world. I've been working diligently at creating my own world. And I must say, it's very peaceful. It's very loving. It's very cosmically united.
It takes a lot of practice too.
Yes, it does.
That's people should know. Like anything that you want to get good at, it's going to take practice. And so you decide, like for instance, one day it could be something as simple as I'm not going to complain today,
Yeah.
And then you practice that all day,
Absolutely.
and every day. And then it actually becomes a lifestyle.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, peeps, if this wave does not sound like yours, you've got your own wave. And I bet you're meeting your own team members who have been going on that wave with you as well. And we so encourage you to make a connection with those that you run into and you feel that connection. Go ahead and feed and nurture that connection. We are cosmic team members. We are gathering. We do have a mission. And we had just said yesterday, there is, even in the midst of the chaos that's going on in the world, there is a calm. And I live for that calm. And that calm makes me hear clearer. And it makes me see clearer. And it allows myself to be guided better. And that is, that I think is another aspect of Cosmic Team is the dedication, determination.
Definitely. We're all in this together.
Well, thank you so much. Again, I just so enjoy us just chit-chatting, letting people in on our wave, on our ideas, and to share the love that we have to give everyone. So thank you so much. We've talked about having other discussions, maybe on sacred feminine. We've got quite a few topics that we can discuss. So I'm looking forward to having you back again.
Me too, Sheila.
All right. Well, peeps, thank you so much. It's so good to have you back with us again. From my heart to yours, peeps, we love you. Namaste.